trust. Joe Biden led the Recovery Act, saved millions.
Hey everybody, how we doing tonight? Happy Friday. Looks like the room is already filling up nicely. I know I saw Todd A, who is always the first one to arrive, and Todd, it's always good to see you pop up there as I'm getting ready for the live stream. Jack Kurtz with his new heart valve. Congratulations on that, Jack. I hope you're feeling much better, and really appreciate you tuning in so soon after the procedure. Let's see, we got Tony 513, Ron H, Portsmouth Piper, Chris 62154, Desert Pine Piper, Big Dave, Signalman Tony from Rhode Island, Paul the Piper, Danstad Piper, Forward Smoking Pipes, Thagger Acorn Holio, CJP Pipe Rescue, Piper on the 45, and Kilted Piper Steve, and I think I got everybody on the list. At least everybody that hasn't rolled off the top of the list. Great to see you guys. Hope you're all having a wonderful start to your weekend. I'll say this. This is a weekend that I'm really glad has finally come. It's been quite a week. Scotty Dashboard, happy Friday to you, my friend. The great state of Maine. How'd you get there, Scotty? Paragon Piper, smoking first bag of Haunted Bookshop. Great stuff. All right, fantastic, Paragon Piper. Glad to hear it. So we got another contender for the Haunted Bookshop. That means I'll have to up my monthly orders to make sure they don't run out. Hot Wings 326, how you doing, John? Mark in Rhode Island. Hey, Mark. Big day weather in eastern Pennsylvania is cooler than it has been, but it's still hot. Thagger Acorn Holio smoking some 2019 Sun Bear with Miller Lite. Sounds good there. Thagger. Road King Piper, how you doing, buddy? Monty 53 Piper. Tony 513's got some Haunted Bookshop going in the Savinelli. Boris the Piper, how you doing, my friend? Salty Dogs in the Brewer Nose Warmer. Very nice. Cali Piper 62. You spelled my name wrong, Steve. Armchair Piper. Hey, Ed, how you doing there, buddy? Just checking in. Ardor Devilance, Mississippi Mississippi River Rum Barrel. There we go. You having the same in Western PA there, huh? Durham Duke, how you doing, buddy? Leaf and Burl, some San Sepulcro in a Meerschaum. Pipes and Bees, how are you, my friend? Kilted Piper Steve smoking big and burly in a new mirror and drinking a Coke. I saw Durham Duke wouldn't be staying for long, so I'll just let you know that I do have Mr. Winslow lined up for later tonight, and I'll explain why I'm telling him that when we get to it. But right now, I have a cob because I'm smoking this junk. This is, I'm only kidding. This is Amphora Black Cavendish. This blend has really surprised me. I smoked it a few weeks ago, and I fully intended to dislike it, and I did. And then I had another bowl, and I thought, well, I should have paid more attention to. This stuff is actually very good. I'm really impressed with it. It's not pure Black Cavendish. It's got other leaf in it. Hopefully you can see. There's some brown and black there. It's definitely topped. The topping it's licorice-like, but it's more complex than that, and it's got a smoky spiciness to it, almost like a Perique spice with a smoky under it. It's fantastic. So Amphora Black Cavendish, if you get a chance, if you're at all someone that might like an aromatic, definitely give it a try. 5-pounder of Amphora Black Cavendish, Ford? No. Old Dark Fire and a billiard with a Manhattan. Sounds good, Chris. And I am drinking this, which is Leinenkugel Summer Shandy. I'm not a big flavored beer guy, but these shandies and rattlers are really quite nice when it's hot. Picture is a little fuzzy tonight. Sorry about that, Ron. Same camera I always use. Here on my monitor, it seems to be coming up okay, so I don't know what's going on there. It might be a buffering issue. You like the shandies too? They're great. Yeah, they're definitely nice on hot days. Buffalo Trace. Sounds good there, WKR Piper. Good to see you. And Portsmouth Piper. Actually, I think I might be to the bottom of the bowl here, because I started this as I was getting things ready. Maybe a little bit. Maybe one more relight. Kegel Jeff, having some half and half in an eBay basket pipe. Some of my best pipes are eBay basket pipes. Well, some of my best pipes are from eBay or basket pipes. I can't say for certain that they're eBay basket pipes. Fishwife Piper 74 sipping on a margarita. That's another great thing to do on a hot evening. C&D exclusive. Not familiar with that, Mike. And good to see you, Mike Clark. YTPC chat row here. Oh, Big Dave staying cool. It's hard to stay cool right now. George Washington pipe tobacco. I have not heard of that, Scotty. Any of the guys out there familiar with George Washington pipe tobacco? Cup of, oops. Todd, your messages disappear before I can read them. I don't know if you're retracting them or if there's something wrong, but that happens quite frequently. Was that George Washington was a Burley, Virginia with a molasses topping? That sounds like a pretty standard sort of over-the-counter. Almost all of them can be described as a Burley, Virginia with a molasses topping. One cup of Joe as basket pipe. I would like... Oh, cup of Joe's is a basket pipe. A wood bowl with a metal shank. That's interesting, Todd. I've seen a few of those. I don't know. I always worry that the metal shank pipes are gonna, gurgle, or you're gonna get condensation in them, but I don't think that's actually true because the metal heats up very quickly. No problem, Todd. I just noticed the retractions, and I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't something that we were doing to you. But that's okay. We're glad you're here. Well, I am now finally out of Amphora Black Cavendish, but it's not something I'm going to smoke every day. But it is really a nice treat now and then. I'm surprised I like it as much as I do. This is actually a country gentleman, an old country gentleman, probably about 8 or 9 years old. Oh, maybe more than that, actually. Yeah, I've had this one a while. Yeah, Ford, I think you're right. I think we'll just go right for the haunted bookshop, which we are starting to see the bottom of the barrel. So it's hot. You know, we've been, oh boy, 95, 96 a couple of days this week. Mercifully today it dropped down quite a bit. It was, I think we only got up to like maybe 79 today or something. And the next few days are going to be 80s. And I say mercifully because guess what happened today? The air conditioner broke. Full Smoking Bar, how you doing, Nick? And Tobacco Pipes International, good to see you, buddy. Arquin, me too. Yeah, it just wasn't cooling anymore, and I hoped that it was just a Freon thing. But of course, it's more than that, and they got to come back, and you know, this happens probably every 5, 8 years, 8 years probably. Yeah, it's not the best time to be looking for a new air conditioner, Christian. That certainly is true. But is there ever a good time for that? And you know, it happens, and when it happens, it's a big pain, but then you get 8 years of nice, cool summers. Huh? No, Big Dave, the basement, unfortunately, is not cool because the furnace is down here, and the furnace is how our hot water is created. It actually passes through the furnace. So 2 months for a shipment from Belgium, Nick. That's pretty amazing. Fagger 8, I might take you up on that. We'll see how desperate I am in a few days. Yes, it is Haunted Bookshop Day, Steve. Cali Piper 62. It's his Haunted Bookshop anniversary. Yeah, I agree with you there. It is good cigar weather. Good cigar weather, good burley weather. Somebody commented on a video the other day about Samoy and Samoy, Vincent Menil, the Samoy. And I had forgotten how much I liked smoking that when it was warm. So I said, oh, I'm going to have to go get a jar of that out. But I didn't get around to it because I got knocked off the track, you know. BB 1938. How was that, Jim? CJP Pipe Rescues say he just tried it for the first time the other day. I've never had it. Yeah, I tell you, that's a good point, Big Dave. And, you know, this guy charged me today, I think it was about $80, and he didn't actually help me at all, but it was hot out there, and he did everything he could to try to get the thing running right. You know, I didn't mind paying that. When I think of these guys having to crawl around in the attics and everything else on days where it's hotter than this, that's quite a job. They earn their money. Oh, that's interesting, Jim. I never thought of it in that vein, but I've never tried it, like I said. So Jim's saying that the BB 1938 is reminiscent of Frog on a Log. Andrew, how you doing, buddy? Welcome. Yeah, Ron, roofers. They've got a heck of a job too this time of year. Is that? I'm sorry, Cornelia. I can't remember. You are in Texas, and that is the kind of work you do. So you definitely earn your money. ADT installs Paragon Piper. That's the security systems. Popo Piper, how you doing, buddy? San Antonio. Yeah, great city. As long as you're not crawling around in the attic on the hottest day of the year. Meerschaum Mountaineer, how you doing? Yeah, it was tolerable here as well today. Wow, Big Dave. Yeah, I wouldn't want that job. Mike Clark is asking if I ever smoked Henry Clay cigars. I actually have. I think that's a Pennsylvania thing, if I recall. And they are good. They're a little. I mean, they're not like. How can I say this? They're a perfectly good smoke. They're not the best cigar I've ever had, but for they're good value and they smoke really nicely. Todd A is asking where am I? I'm in southeastern Pennsylvania, Todd, about an hour north of Philadelphia. Jeff Cagle, yeah, I've tried the Watch City slices. Very nice burley slices. Kirk Maxon, hello there, my friend. How are you doing? Yeah, Tony, the burley's going nice. Let's see if I can show you a picture. It's not, if you guys saw Tamper Tantrum put out a video yesterday, I think. And he showed his burley and all of his tobacco. And mine is not doing as well as his, but I think I planted mine a bit later than his, so I'm a couple weeks behind him. Let's see if I can find. I took a picture and actually went on Instagram, but let's see if I can. What is going on here? Oh, there we go. So you can't really get a good idea of the size there, but that's about, I don't know, maybe 2 foot tall, and that shot is obviously taken right down onto it, so it's coming along. I wish Solani Burley was sold in bulk as well, Paragon. That's good stuff. Good you're hanging in there, Kirk. Keep doing that, buddy. Hey, Voodoo07. Good to see you. Big Dave, I'll try to do that, but I don't think I'm going to be doing anything fancy. I'm just going to probably hang it up in the attic and see what happens. I mean, the way I understand burley is processed when it's grown large scale is that they cut it in the field and they actually leave it in the field for a day or two to wilt in the sun, and then it's transferred to barns where it hangs and dries. So closest thing I got to a barn is my attic, which is very hot and dry. I'm going to probably put a fan on it just to keep some air circulating, and I may or may not wilt it for a day or two. Oh, gotcha, Todd. No problem. Yeah, Chris, I think so. At least I'll find out if it's not. My goal right now is I'd like these to go to flower because if I can collect seeds this year, I'll be a happy guy. This was all just an experiment, you know. I wasn't planning on. Well, I'm certainly not planning on putting Cornell and Deal out of business, and I'm not planning on never buying tobacco again. It's just something fun. Would that be a good idea, Paragon, to see if we can get Tamper Tantrum back on after the harvest? We got some good shows coming up, by the way. I don't know if you guys are keeping up on the schedule or not, but I'm pulling up the calendar as I speak here, which is why I'm going to be a little distracted. But I want to see who's next week. Yeah, so next week we've got Ghost Cop joining us, which will be a lot of fun. And I'm booked up until I think mid-August. Mid-October at this point. So it's going to be quite a run of guests that we'll have here. Full Smoking Bar, are you referring to Tamper Tantrum? Being quite interesting? I agree. Nope, not going to mix anything with it, Tony. Straight burley, that's all I want. Hey, sure thing, TPI. Why don't you drop me an email, CaneRodPiper@gmail.com, and we'll definitely set that up. I'll get you on the schedule. Be great to have you on. WKR Piper, I might, well, first off, we're getting way ahead of ourselves here because I don't even know if that stuff is going to be harvestable at this point. But if I can actually get some, I'd be happy to share a bit with a few of you. But from what I understand, it takes, I think they said 4 full-grown plants to make 1 pound of tobacco. I think that's right. So I've only got 2, and one of them is growing pretty far behind the other. One's about twice the size of the other one. So I don't think I'm going to have that much, but I'm happy to share, as long as you don't mind just getting a bowl or two. Oh, Big Dave, I'll look into that. DIY monkey? That would definitely be worth looking into. A whole series of videos on growing, harvesting, and processing tobacco. Jim, well, Jim, if you call it that, you're not going to get any. Maybe what I could do is maybe we could do some sort of a contest, because I'm probably not, you know, I bet if I divide up everything that I wind up growing, and again, assuming I can get anything worthwhile out of it, I probably won't have enough for, I don't know, maybe 20 bowls. So could divide that up into 10 packs, and I probably want to keep a couple for me. So maybe we could have some sort of contest for the others. Yeah, extreme limited edition small batch. No problem, WKR Piper. No problem at all. The answer is C. Will these bowls be numbered? All of our bowls are numbered. We just don't know what the number is. Yeah, Big Dave, you have to wait 1 month. But this isn't going to happen for a while. So I think I'm going to grow it. If I remember right, Temper Tantrum said that he grew out into September. And I'm just going to let mine go until then. All right, Kegel Jeff, thanks a lot for stopping in. Really, really great to see you. And please come back next week. Have a good evening. CaneRod Burley Blend by Cornell and Deal. Why are they getting the credit? I'm growing the stuff. Oh, Jim's bowls are numbered. That's kind of an interesting thought. This is going to get morbid fast, but there is a number to the number of bowls of tobacco you're going to smoke, and you don't know what that number is. But it will be. You will have a last bowl someday. And think about that sometimes. Like you're going to have a last Wednesday. You just won't know it. And of course, we all hope that that's not the last Wednesday, but the first Thursday of our new life. It is, Andrew. It is organic and free range, and it's also vegan. So I probably told you guys the joke before, but for a while I was telling people I was reformed vegan. And what I meant by that was I only ate meat from vegan animals. Paragon Piper, I don't think that's in the Old Testament, but it should be. And it is gluten-free, yes. Yes, church wardens in heaven, Richard T. Absolutely. Jim, that's something I worry about a lot, and my wife's reaction to it really kind of bothers me more than the thought of her just throwing stuff away. She tells me that I should catalog everything so she knows what to do with it. And I just somehow think it's a little creepy that I'd be, sitting writing out a list of things so that she knows what to do when I'm gone. All right, Nick, that'll save me some time. I'll just tell her to send everything to you. There you go, WKR Piper. Amen. There you go, Christian. Thank you. That's an even cheerier thought. And if I wasn't such a lucky guy, and I am a very lucky guy, I might make a comment about how I wouldn't do that to another man. But no, my wife is actually wonderful. She's very tolerant of me. She lets me have all my various hobbies and never complains, and I'm a very lucky guy. So, and I guess it's only reasonable that she wants to know what to do with the pounds and pounds and pounds of tobacco. Friend that is 103 years old, he smokes a pipe and several cigars a day. He said the secret to life is to stop tracking and just enjoy every day. That's great advice there. Yeah. 103 years old. Wow. That is impressive. I was talking to Peter, the smooth piper, the other day, and we were talking about Olivia de Havilland, who died at, I think, the age of 104. And just how many folks you see that live that long. And then we started talking about people that were pipe smokers and lived that long, or cigar smokers. And George Burns came up. And as you all know, George Burns lived beyond 100. I don't know exactly how old he was when he died, but he was very active up until about 100. And he continued to smoke cigars every day, and he smoked a lot of cigars a day. And he was being interviewed once, and this is my favorite George Burns quote, and there's a lot of good George Burns quotes. But he was being interviewed, and the person interviewing him said, how many cigars do you smoke a day? And he said, 5 or 6 or whatever it was. And they, trying to make a point, said, well, what does your doctor think about that? And George Burns just laughed and said, my doctor, he's dead. I have been married, Tony 513, it will be 25 years this September. Wow, 80 years old and still drives. Incredible. Good stuff. Speaking of temper tantrum, I got this out today, unrelated to anything we're talking about. He actually made this, and I have no idea how. I think he made it by hand. And I know some other guys are lucky enough to have these. They're really beautiful. It's made out of ebony. And I have so many of these tampers that folks have made for me. And it's a great thing. A lot of folks make tampers, and we pass them around and all that. And I've been kind of shy about using them because they're just so beautiful. But I thought, this was made to be used. So this is the first time I'm tamping with this. There should be music playing or something. It's good advice, Christian. You can't wait for the happiness. You have to make it happen. Thank you, Big Dave. I will definitely check that out. Thanks, Tony. And Jim, you're hitting 26 years in August. That's fantastic. WKR Piper, that's a good one. Kirk, married 40 years. Amazing. Oh, Paul. I hate to say this, but I think I want to see that. Do I have any pipes that I will not smoke? I'm going to answer that question instead of Tony's question about what's the secret to a prosperous marriage, because I have no idea, Tony. I used to have a Brigham that I gave away. Actually, one of the giveaways that I had with the live stream, because it just never agreed to me. Never agreed with me, I should say. That's the only pipe I wouldn't smoke. I mean, I don't have any others that I wouldn't. I have some that I smoke infrequently, but all the other ones I will. Tell her back Ellie's sales of Haunted Bookshop is up. It's so fast. There you go, Ford. There is a timing aspect to that. There's going to be a curve, and you need to hit it just right. The One Simplex One, how you doing, buddy? Wow, Jim, that's quite a record. Yeah, a lot of guys are and I know it's true, but never tell her no, and yes, dear is the secret to. Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. I think that the first secret to a happy marriage is choosing the right person to marry. There's a lot of women out there that would not put up with me. I'm just not. I'm not the kind of person that's going to spend his whole life trying to make someone else happy. We have a lot of not common interests, and we're perfectly willing to be side by side doing completely different things, and we can be very happy with that. So it's definitely good advice to always try to make your wife happy, but you also need somebody that understands that you need to be happy too. Anderson Valley beers. Nick, are Anderson Valley beers the ones you told me about recently? There was a. Were you the one that sent me the moose smoking a pipe on a beer? Yeah, Ron, that's the problem. It's sometimes hard to not sound sarcastic. Roses every 2 years. Happiness is less important than meaning. There you go, Chad. Good to see you, by the way, Chad. Jack, is that to be sold by Boswell? Is that the idea? The bear with antlers, okay. See's candy. Haven't seen that in a while. I'm trying to remember a joke, and it's not coming to me. But it was the basic form was, the secret to happiness is to always, find a woman who's this, and this, and whatever you do, don't let them meet one another. XJ90X, hello there. Oh, Christian's asking me about the birthday. Yeah, what did I wind up doing? I got her a couple of cards. I got her some small things that I knew she wanted. Nothing exciting. We got takeout from one of her favorite restaurants, and we got a cake, and we didn't do candles and stuff like that, but so it was kind of a special day, and I did everything I could to make her feel like it was a special day, but nothing too unusual, and she seemed very happy about that. The secret to life is to enjoy being terribly deceived. That's a very somewhat negative outlook there, XJ90X. Mike Clark is asking if anyone's having problems finding haunted bookshop. Not, I don't know anything about that. Yeah, Christian, I think that's true. There you go, Big Dave. Well, I do tend to joke with her around this time of year. Like anytime we bought a vacuum cleaner recently, and it was in the car, and I had to carry it into the house. And as I carried it across the threshold, I looked up at her and I said, "Happy birthday." So yeah. But it all turned out well. Thanks for asking, Christian. And know anything about dogs' health? Probably not much more than the average person, Paul. Early deceived is what lane 1Q does. It's a good point there about being cynical. Yeah. Oh, Tony, you want to know about the shop vac? I was hoping no one would ask. Let me put it this way. I'm going to go shop vac shopping this weekend. So I got it all back together. I replaced the bearing and replaced the brushes, and I resurfaced the armature, and I ran the motor without it being back in the casing, and it was great. It was running beautifully. And I put it back together and put the whole thing back together, and I turned it on and it ran great. And then I ran it while I was working on a stem, and it started howling and sparking, and so I took it apart again, and it turns out that the problem is that it seems to be shorting between the field coil and the actuator windings. There's actually arcing going on in there, and I'm just not going to try to sort that out. It's not worth it. I'll just buy a new one. Ford, are you asking me if my wife is Italian? No. I'm barely Italian, by the way. So my wife is actually of Slovak descent. Slovak, maybe there's some Hungarian mixed in there, but Eastern European. And I'm Italian, but I got a lot of German Irish in me as well. Yeah, Chris, I'm happy that I tried. You know, it was only about $20 that I spent trying to fix it. You know, Chad, I was thinking about buying a new reticulating dingle arm, but I couldn't find one. Well, I couldn't find a left-handed one. Am I an Aries? No. What made you ask that, Tony? Yeah, XJ, that's probably true. I mean, you could, if you really wanted to, you could rewind the armature and the field coils and all that, but God, why would you do that? I mean, a new shop vac's going to be about $120, I think, and you know, by the time I learned how to do that and then actually did it, I'd probably be 6 months into it, and it still might not work. But if it had worked, I'd be pretty darn proud right now. Ball bearings. Yeah, Big Dave, that's true. The quickest way to get rid of any appliance is just put it out in the trash. It disappears. Yeah, Christian, that's true. Czech Republic, okay. So you probably deal with some similar issues to what I deal with, Jim. Thank you, Simplex. I appreciate that. Wife was from Satan. I think all first wives are. Unless your first wife is also your last wife. Sailor, hello. Good to see you. Yeah, are the Craftsman's good? I always liked Shop Vac. They're made in the U.S. They had a great warranty. This one I actually had for about 5-6 years, and the motor blew on it. And I called them up, and they just sent me a whole new. They don't have motor. You can't buy a motor, so it's the entire top what they call the power head. And they just sent that to me, no questions asked. They didn't want any proof of purchase or anything. So I've always been impressed with them as a company, but I don't like the way the new ones look. Although I found out, I've been looking at like Lowe's and Home Depot and places like that. I found out Ace Hardware, which is a smaller chain store in this area, they actually carry a more classic version of the shop vac, something that looks more like the one that I have. Not exactly the same, but pretty close. So I'm going to get one of those. No, Ed, I didn't go with the shower curtain or the shower curtain hooks, but funny enough, she has just recently purchased those. So yeah, Tony, the DeWalt just looked overpriced to me, and maybe I'm kind of on this buy American kick right now. So I know the truth is it's not really made in America. The parts are sourced in China and everything, but yeah, XJ, I'm sure that's true. Well, Dave, they claim to be American made, but I don't know what that means. It might just be assembled in America. Well, that's good to know about the shark, XJ. Yeah, it's, recent events, Couch, have made me really rethink this. And I know a few other guys have talked about this, but, it's well, I could really get on a soapbox here. For me, it's not that this isn't important, but it's not about American jobs so much. But I do think that's extremely important. For me, it's about disposability. There's this, everything seems to be disposable now, and I don't like that. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to fix the shop vac, which the reason I'm looking is it's sitting right there. I wanted to fix it because I don't think things like that should be disposable. I grew up, my mom and dad had a vacuum cleaner that was the first vacuum cleaner I remember. I personally repaired it 2 or 3 times before I went off to college, and I believe that they still had that vacuum cleaner when I was in graduate school, and they decided to move from Pennsylvania to Vermont. So that was probably 25 years they used that same vacuum. And if it broke, it was really easy to fix. There wasn't that much stuff that could go wrong with it. And now they're planned obsolescence, exactly, Dave. And I just don't like it. And maybe, it's a fool's errand and I'll never be able to get around it. But I don't know. It just seems to me like, well, that's true too, Couch. I don't want to give the money to China. I admit that's true, but the main reason is I just don't like this disposable culture that we've turned into. So this pipe, by the way, I loaded it and I said I was going to say something about it. So this is the one that I affectionately call Mr. Winslow. It's a Paul Winslow, really nice pipe. I'm not going to, is that an apple? I don't know. It's got a very thin shank for the bowl, but nice thick walls, really substantial bowl. I like this pipe a lot. And I got this, I don't know if he's still out there or not, but the Durham Duke, who knows my taste in pipes, contacted me and said, I've got this pipe, would you be interested in it? And I did purchase this from him, but the truth is he gave me such a great deal on it that it was practically a gift. So I'm very appreciative of that, and it's one of my favorites. So I wanted to make sure I told that story because I saw him pop up. And the reason I'm smoking it tonight is that he mentioned to me the other day that he hasn't seen me smoking it in a video in a while. So I thought, oh, great. Yeah, Electrolux. This was, boy, I can't remember. It might have been Hoover, but Electrolux sure sounds familiar too. This shape is a hookah? Really? You're kidding me, right, Paragon Piper? And Dave, is that getting harder these days? To get your tools American made? I mean, I know companies that I always thought were American are no longer American, like DeWalt, for example. All right, Full Smoking Bar. Have a good dinner, Nick. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, you guys are having fun with me. I'm going to have to get a pipe shape chart and hang it up right behind the camera so that I can... Well, that's another problem there, Thagorate Cornolio. So sometimes the quality of the American made is not what it used to be either. Jeffers 58, hello there. Smoking some Carter Hall and a Country Gent. That's a great combination. See, Simplex, now I have to go find out what you're referring to. Yeah, Craftsman's the same way, Steve. Wait a minute, Ford, I don't get it. Told you so. She's going to give you only cost you $20 is what you're saying? I'm confused, Ford. Are you saying I only spent $20 on the birthday presents? Yeah, Klein. Duralast, I don't know, Tony. Yeah, so that's another thing. So there are some good quality tools that are made in other countries. There's some good quality electronics that are made in other countries. And then there's some really poor quality stuff that's made in other countries. So, you know, it's a real balancing act to try to think through all this. Well, I think the building is cool. It's such a shame to see the Allentown Bethlehem Steel Building as a casino now. Yeah, Andrew, that's the truth. And we've been to that casino quite a few times. It is sad. Yeah, so the John Deere probably falls into that category of assembled in America. Stanley owns Channel Lock. That's good to know. Yeah, Stanley is a U.S. company. Great history too. I love Stanley rulers and Stanley marking gauges. They're some of the things that I hate to say collect, but I do enjoy having. Oh, Stanley was difficult to work with, Couch. You know, I got one down here. Just pulling this up at random so I don't actually know what it is even. Hang on. I'll give you an example of the kind of thing I'm talking about. So I picked the one that I know the least about, so there you go. But this is roughly a number 4 Stanley Bailey patent type plane. And this is actually not made by Stanley. This is by a U.S. company called Diamond Edge. So this was probably a 1950s sort of knockoff. But really well quality, well made. Now this is one that I bought and have not sort of resurrected yet. So the handle's a bit loose on it and things like that, and I haven't, probably have to flatten the bottom and to get it working again. But the way I look at it is this plane will, once it's put back into working shape, is going to last me the rest of my life. I'm never going to need to replace this plane. And you can't say that about any tools that are made today. Now, do I have a... show you another one. This is a new, this is a Line Nielsen. It's a block plane. Adjustable throat. Yeah, it's adjustable throat. Nice adjustment mechanism on the blade. Perfectly ready to go out of the box. This is essentially new. I don't think I've even used this one yet. And American made. This will last me the rest of my life, even if I was to use it for hours a day, every day. If you go over to Home Depot, you're not going to find this. No, the truth is you probably don't want to find this because this is not an inexpensive plane. This is quite pricey. But I'd rather pay for this once than even pay for something that cost 1/10 of that price 3 times, because every time I pick it up I can feel that quality. It's got a heft to it. It makes me feel good to use it and to know that it's a lifetime tool. And I guess I want to feel that way about everything that I use, even vacuum cleaners. And again, maybe it's a fool's mission, maybe it's just not possible, but 1950 Zippo. Yep, they will. Zippo Contempo. Yeah, good quality. Zippo's another example of this, and if a Zippo doesn't last you a lifetime, if it breaks, you send it back and they fix it. And it's not going to change. You don't have to worry about, gee, am I going to have to upgrade to the newest Zippo? It's always going to be a Zippo. Large hacksaw behind me. Let's see. You mean the big frame saw up there? That big frame saw is actually a German company, and I don't remember the name, but it's a really good quality frame saw. Although the frame is just wood with the qualities in the blade. Yeah, Paragon Piper, they will replace it no matter what goes wrong with it, as long as you can send something back to them. Zippo should start making lawn tractors. And ask them to make lawn tractors with the same warranty that they have on their lighters. All right, Kilted Piper Steve, thanks for joining us. You have a good night, my friend. This old folk won't be much far behind you. You talking about the planes, Todd? You have to sharpen the blades on them. And eventually, if you use it enough, you'll have to replace it. But I've been using planes for a long time, and I've never had to replace a blade. Setting lawns on fire. I've actually set the lawn on fire. Oh, XJ, that's got to be quite a story. Yeah, I saw somebody ask about quality AC units, and yeah, we bought a new refrigerator. I guess this was 2 years ago now, and we talked to and they were honest about it in the store. They basically said they're only giving a 3-year warranty because it's not expected that the compressors on any of these will last more than 5 years, and they don't see the point of a warranty longer than that. You're going to want to replace the refrigerator. And I come from a background of you buy a refrigerator and that's your refrigerator for 20 years. I couldn't believe it, but at least they were honest about it. Oh, Andrew's got a fishing question. Present a dry, softer versus modern composite fit. Oh, Andrew, that's a loaded question to ask somebody that's built CaneRods. I think the answer is yes, but you got to have the right line. This is gonna alienate everybody out there that's not a fly fisherman. So you got to have the right line, and you've got to load the rod correctly. In my opinion, I can do the same thing with a fast composite rod if I overline it. So if I've got a 5-weight rod and I put a 6-weight line on it, I can get the same kind of casting action that I can get off of a bamboo rod. Not exactly the same, but close to it. And it does take some practice because the bamboo is slower, so you got to wait longer until you feel that load, and then you got to slow down that forward stroke because you're kind of whipping it more. It takes practice, but once you got it, I think it does give a much softer presentation. One-year warranty, wow. Yes, Sailor, I can't disagree with you there. Harbor Freight does have some real trash. I have to admit, I've bought some things at Harbor Freight, and I will continue to buy some things at Harbor Freight because sometimes, as much as I just talked about these expensive planes and everything, but sometimes you need a one-time tool. How many times you're gonna have to take off a castle nut? And do you want to pay $50 for a full set of castle nut wrenches, or do you want to go to Harbor Freight and get the one thing you need that you're going to use for 15 minutes and never again for $10? So I have to admit, I do, despite everything I just said, I do occasionally buy some things at Harbor Freight. I bought, like the table that my lathe is on, I bought at Harbor Freight. It was a pretty good deal, and it's actually, for what it needs to do, which is just sit there and stay there, it's doing just fine. And yes, Harbor Freight does smell bad. It does, Big Dave. I don't know why. Tool video. I don't know, Tony. Maybe someday. Just repaired 18-year-old AC unit, cost $65. Beats cheaper than... Yeah, absolutely, Ford. I wish I could repair mine, but... Okay, Andrew, so you know what I'm talking about then. Yeah. Yeah, the free flashlight isn't a bad deal, Jim. Although they crap out pretty quickly too. Yeah, Big Dave, that's quite a benefit of being a machinist. All right, Tobacco Pipes International. Thank you. I'll look forward to that. Yeah, that's sweatshop is exactly right, Paragon Piper. And you know, to be honest, I should be more true to what I believe, because what I'm basically saying is things are really important to me, except for when they're not, and that's not right. So you know, if I wanted to really be serious about what I was saying, I should stop doing the Harbor Freight stuff. Now, it's not like I make a weekly Harbor Freight run. I go there maybe twice a year. Yeah, the one simplex one. That's my point. Oh, the show. Yes, Ford, you did tell me so. You did. Yeah, it is a chemical smell. I think it might also be a lot of their tools are covered in that what's it called? What's that? Not caseinite. I cannot think of what it's called now. But there's a special grease that they use when they're storing, like Dave, you should know this. When you buy a new Cosmoline, thank you, Sailor. Yes, Cosmoline. It might be that. At Ron H, that was a good episode. I think it was it Peterson or Dunhill they went to for that? We used to have a channel that would show how it's made on Saturdays, like from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night. And I lost Saturdays with that darn thing. Yeah, it was Cosmoline. Does anybody actually know what Cosmoline is? I mean, I know what it is, but is it just a grease, or is there something? It seems to be stickier when you have to clean it off. It seems to be more, I don't know if it dries sticky, or it can't go on like that because it would never spread. Yeah, it definitely inhibits rust. It's a real pain to get off though. Yeah, the clay pipe episode was kind of interesting too. That's, you know, I had never really thought about it, but making a clay pipe is quite a challenge. You know, you got to get that long hole through that long, thin piece of clay. Yeah, I've got some cheap clamps too, XJ, and boy, I hate them. Yeah, I think they do bake the clay pipes, Tony. Jojo Piper, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I honestly don't remember if it was Dunhill or Peterson, Todd. It was one of them. I remember the Peterson one because I remember. Why do I remember it was? Well, I don't know. Maybe that was something else that I saw on YouTube that was Peterson. Gasoline with Vaseline. Paul, I still got that Vegas image in my mind. You got me good with that one. Ah, that's good to know, Sailor. Good reports on Briarworks pipes. Oh, thank you, Paul. I don't have to dance, do I? Be an act. Paul, that pretty much made my night. Thank you. Yeah, Paragon, I don't think you want that on video. I saw a video, Tony, about squirrels where this guy had built this elaborate maze of challenges, like a, what would you call it, like an obstacle course for the squirrels in his yard. And it was really elaborate. It was stuff like, if the squirrel paused at this point, it would get catapulted and things like that. It was, and I think there were like 10 different things all around the yard that they needed to go through to get to this pile of nuts or something. And it was amazing. They almost instantly figured it out. It was a disappointing video because you were hoping to see lots of squirrels get catapulted and whatnot. And in fact, they just very quickly figured it out and just shot through the thing and got the nuts. It was used as cosmetics? XJ, that's terrible. Yeah, crows can figure out puzzles pretty quickly too. Oh, Boris. Yeah, Ocean Wave. Our dogs hate squirrels too. They pretty much believe that the squirrels, if they're not on the constant ready, the squirrels will kill us. And it's funny because they really hate them, and the squirrels have really never done anything to the dogs. You know, it's amazing. Like birds can land in the yard and the dogs just ignore them. We have rabbits, and the rabbits do get chased, but they don't get chased with the same venom that the squirrels get chased with. Treats to the dogs. Yeah, fortunately ours have not caught many, but I'll tell you a quick story since we're Yeah, we're 9:15, so we're gonna tie up about 9:30. But I'll tell you a quick squirrel story that you'll enjoy. Yeah, coal tar was used quite a bit, so yeah, I guess it is similar to that. Tarzan pants. Those cats take care of everything, don't they, Christian? So, we have two dogs. They're a mix of golden retriever and coonhound, which is actual hunting dog breed. And when they were young, they they were very active. Well, they still are, but they were mischievous puppies. I'll just put it that way. And I leave to go to work, and it was winter. It was cold. There was snow on the ground, and I get to work, and if I'm remembering it right, my wife sent me a picture by text message, and I open up the picture, and there are 3 dog toys lined up on the floor. But the middle one looked unusual. It had ice on it and snow. So I called my wife to ask her why she sent me this picture. So she's sitting on the sofa, and she realizes that the 2 dogs are sitting at her knee, just looking up at her expectantly, with the tail wagging, like waiting for something. And she thought, that's odd. What are they, why are they doing this? And she looks down at the floor, and she sees these 3 dog toys lined up. And she's thinking, oh, they brought toys over to play or something. And then she noticed what I noticed, that, there was some ice and snow on one of them. And then she realized that the middle dog toy was not a dog toy, but was actually a dead squirrel. And my wife doesn't handle these sorts of things very well. So they just found it. They couldn't have caught it. It was frozen solid. So it must have died for some other reason. And they found it and brought it in thinking that she would want it, I guess. That's my squirrel story. Oh, Paul, that's really sad. I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, Big Dave, if nothing else, they're very chewy. Frozen chew toys, yeah. Yeah, Paul, that's the best way to think about it. I've had a lot of dogs, going all the way back to when I was a kid, and one of the hardest things about being a dog lover is how often you have to say goodbye. But the truth is, that you're giving that dog the best life that you can, and I really believe that they know that too. And that somehow just makes it a little easier. Yeah, XJ, we've got a problem like that. My one dog thinks it's great fun to steal my wife's slipper. And nobody thinks this is fun but this dog. And she thinks we're going to chase her around and tackle her and try to get the thing off her. But we just basically ignore her and say, put it down, put it down. And she'll run around and hold it up in the air and everything. And then she'll finally drop it somewhere and then come and expect a treat. Oh, Big Dave, I don't think that would have been okay. Yeah, they are creatures of love, and I sometimes think of not to get overly religious here or overly sappy, but God's love kind of shines through in dogs because they really do love unconditionally. You can be so mad at a dog and you can yell at it and tell it it's bad and everything else, and it just looks up at you, and you can tell that despite how angry you are at that dog, it loves you completely. Yeah, exactly, Andrew. It's unconditional love. Yeah, Tony, I've never had cats myself, but I know a lot of people have said that they do often bring presents home. Yep, absolutely, Simplex. Paul, just to be clear, I'm allergic to cats, so you won't be able to bring them on the Vegas trip. And there you go, XJ. Cat pants. So, Paul, we should probably live stream the Vegas trip. Oh, so the cat was actually bringing in gifts for the dog, Cornholio. There you go, Paragon. All right, you're invited, Paragon Piper. Oh, so guys, I can't believe we've almost done an hour and a half here. I really appreciate you guys tuning in for this because honestly, every time I do this virtual pipe club, I'm a little worried because I'm thinking, what are we going to do? Do I have to have something to? And you guys just make it so darn easy to pass an hour and a half that I really appreciate it, and it's the high point of my week. I'm not just saying that. I really enjoy this that much, and it's so good to see so many folks turn out for it. So, yeah, Christian, I don't think it is ever going to be an issue, but it's not going to stop me from worrying about it. So, next week we got Ghost Cobb joining us, and that's going to be really nice. You know Ghost Cobb from Fine Five Friday, and he's quite prolific on Instagram. Going to be great to get to know him a bit better. Haven't been doing a lot of videos lately, just been kind of busy with life, but I will definitely try to get one in this Sunday because I want to talk about this stuff here, which is Cornell and Deal Poplar Camp, which I accidentally made when I tried to fix Yorktown. So tune in Sunday, I'll try to explain what I mean by that. Anyway, thank you all. Had a great time once again. I will see you this weekend, and if nothing else, I look forward to seeing you next Friday for the visit with Ghost Cobb. So you all take care, have a great weekend, and see you soon. Bye.